There's 3 months left in 2025. And did you know that at the start of every new year, 90% of people who set a New Year's resolution, specific goals for themselves, especially around fitness, 90% of those people fail within the first few weeks or months. But what if I told you that in just 90 days, before 2026 even starts, you could completely transform your body? I'm not talking just lose a little bit of fat, not just add a little bit of muscle. I'm talking actually look jacked and lean and have an aesthetic physique. Truth is, most people won't stick to this. It's why most people look the same year after year. They have the same resolutions year after year. They fail again and again on their weight loss journey year after year. The problem is most people overcomplicate this. They waste months on random programs, constantly switching diets or chasing shortcuts. This video is going to be an exact 90-day roadmap of what you can do to transform your body before 2026. So this plan is going to be broken into 3 phases, one for each month. So phase 1 is going to be the first 1 to 4 weeks. It's going to be the build and reset your foundation. The goal here is going to be to prime your body, get it ready to build as much muscle as you possibly can. If you don't currently have a training split in the gym, this phase, you're going to be in the gym for 3 days a week. You're going to be doing full body training. You're going to focus on the basics here. You're going to focus on squats, presses, rows, deadlifts, dips, pull-ups. But more importantly, you are going to track every single lift in this 4 weeks. And then for cardio, you don't need to go in the gym and spam an hour and a half, 2 hours of cardio every single day to actually achieve an aesthetic physique. But what you are going to need to do is move a little bit more throughout the day. You need to aim for 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day during this first 4 weeks. And then for nutrition, you are going to go online, you are going to find your maintenance calories in a calorie calculator. If you don't want to do this, if this is too much work, a good rule of thumb is to multiply your body weight by around 15. And then this is also where you're going to set your protein goal. You're going to be looking for 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of your lean mass here. And you're going to be eating whole foods. You're going to base your meals around something like red meat or some chicken thigh, along with eggs, some fruit, and maybe a little bit of carbs before you lift. But in this first 4 weeks, you want to try and get your body used to running off of your body fat, not just simple sugars and carbohydrates. So you want to keep your carb intake a little bit lower during this first 4 weeks. But during this time, you're going to track your lifts every day. You are going to track your weight every day. You're going to weigh yourself daily and take your average weight and calculate it over the first 4 weeks. And then you are going to take progress photos every single week. So the first 4 weeks is super simple. You need to eat a little bit less. You need to move a little bit more. You need to get used to going in the gym consistently and tracking all of your lifts. And that brings us into phase 2, which is going to be the next 4 weeks. Here we are going to focus on progressive overload and the lean bulk phase. The goal here is to build muscle as aggressively and as fast as possible while minimizing the amount of fat you're putting on, because we are going to be in a slight surplus. And because we're in a slight surplus, you need to change your training from 3 full body days a week up it to 4 days a week. You need to run a split like upper lower or torso limbs. You're gonna run this split. You're gonna go 2 days back to back in the gym, then you're gonna rest, and then you're gonna go 2 days in the gym again, and then you're gonna rest. On an upper day, you're gonna hit your chest, your back, your shoulders, and your arms. Now that might sound like a lot, but you need to realize that when you're in the gym and when you're training, you need to keep your volume relatively low and your weight relatively high. You only need to do 1 to 2 heavy sets of each exercise. And then on a lower day, you are going to hit legs, so quads, hamstrings, and calves. But the main rule during this 4 weeks is going to be progression. You need to follow the double progression rule. So essentially what you are going to do with all of your lifts, because you are tracking your lifts in the first 4 weeks, you know what weights you are lifting. Now, every single time you go into the gym, you are going to shoot for 6 to 10 reps on an exercise, meaning you are going super heavy at first, making all of your exercises around 6 reps. And then you are going to keep doing that weight every single time you hit that exercise until you can hit that weight for 10 reps. So an easy example of this is if, say, I was doing 225 on bench for 6 reps this week, I would keep doing that until I can hit 225 for 10 reps. Maybe that would be next week. And then that is when I'm going to up the weight. So I'm going to add another 5 or 10 pounds So now I'll be benching 230. And ideally I would hit that for 6 reps. So now I'm back down around the 6 rep range and I'm gonna work the same weight back up to the 10 rep range and then up the weight again. You need to be pushing as close to failure during this time as you possibly can. I'm talking 0 to 1 reps in reserve. Get used to really grinding out those last reps. This is where the most muscle gain is going to come. Okay, now we've built a ton of muscle during this 4-week period because you are in a slight surplus, 200 to 300 calories over your maintenance. It's simple to do this. Just add more carbs before your workouts. Something like some fruit. Bananas are a good example. Have 2 or 3 bananas before your workout. They are simple sugars. They are relatively higher in carbs. They will keep you satisfied while you work out without filling you up too much. During that second month, your daily goal is going to be to hit your protein goal every single day. No excuses. You can actually up your protein a little bit to 1 gram per pound of your body weight. Now we've built you a ton of muscle. Now we're gonna move on to the last 4 weeks, weeks 9 through 12, which is gonna be a refinement and a cut. The goal here is going to keep all of the muscle you just built, but strip your fat off. This is going to be the phase that is gonna leave you looking lean and jacked by day 90 before 2026. You are going to stick with this 4-day training split, or you can make it a 5-day training split. Regardless of what you do, we are going to be cutting here. So you are going to take your calories a little bit below maintenance. And during this period, you want to keep all of your muscle. That's why we're gonna cut a little bit slow, but you need to focus on progressive overload and maintaining your strength in the gym. If you are maintaining your strength, this is a surefire way to know that you are not losing muscle mass that you just built. During this phase, you are going to add in 30 minutes of steady state cardio every single day. Try and do it after your lift. This can be something as simple as sitting and riding the bike, doing some incline treadmill, or doing a Stairmaster on a relatively low setting. You're gonna start in a slight deficit, 200 to 300 calories, but you're gonna slowly increase the deficit to around 500 calories. You want to gradually drop your calories. Don't drop them too fast. And you need to make sure you are keeping your protein high during this time. This will allow you to hold as much muscle as you possibly can. And during this last phase, you are locked in. You are here for the long run. So you need to act like it. You need to be sleeping 7 to 9 hours every single night. You need to cut out alcohol for this last 4 weeks. You need to manage your daily stress, the stress of life. Do more journaling, go on more walks. During this phase, you are going to review your progress photos weekly. If you have a stall in weight loss at all, you need to drop your calories a little bit more and then move a little bit more. Maybe bump your cardio up daily from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. During the next 90 days, here are the daily non-negotiables. You need to hit your protein goal. You need to get 8 to 10,000 steps every single day. You need to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and you need to track every single lift. Weekly non-negotiables going to be to take progress photos. You are going to weigh yourself every day, but take the weekly average, and you can adjust your calories or your cardio when needed, and you need to add weight or reps on every single exercise each week. This 90-day roadmap is simple, but it's not easy. If you actually follow it, if you train hard, you eat right, and you stay consistent, you can completely transform how you look before 2026. You commit right now. You can start 2026 with the physique that you have always wanted. The real question is, are you going to keep waiting, or are you ready to take the step to get jacked? If you have any questions at all, if you need help on anything, I'm talking diet plan, training plan, or any simple questions, DM me on Instagram. The link will be in the description. My goal here is genuinely to help you guys. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you're not, because we are building the best version of you right here, right now.